I just got fucked up by my homies. They found out.
One industry seems to be booming, generating money back to back as everybody's running now to be a sexual content creator. Everybody now wants to live the sweet life. Beaten by his friends is a popular content creator, a gay content creator on OnlyFans, where his fan has beat him up and said that they were disgusted, ashamed of him, and not worthy to be his friends. We'll be unpacking that very soon. But before we go in, I'm your host, Marvelous Achafu Kelechi, and I'm always joined by Chimeleze Henry Aunaya in our studios in Canada. Welcome, Chimeleze. How are you doing?
Mr. Chaffo, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you very much. So, guys, take a look at the video when it was being treated at the hospital and some of the what's the word image. Like, we would like to warn some of the videos and pictures you may see are graphic and they are graphic in nature. Please, viewers' discretion is advised. Please watch.
I just got fucked up by my homies. They found out by my OnlyFans, on Twitter, on my life. They fucked me up. They took everything. I caught the fade, but they jumped me. Fucking bitch ass niggas.
That guy, you can obviously tell that he took something to his head by his friends. Do you feel like, first of all, it is high time, if you create content or if you're a gay porn star, let your friends know you are a gay porn star? Are they entitled to actually know? Or is it actually none of their business?
First and foremost, I think the wrong thing is to call those people his friends. I don't think those are his friends, because a friend is somebody who supports you, empower you, strengthen you, not somebody who diminishes you.
But Chimeleze, don't you feel like sometimes you just go because it shows more about him and the kind of company he keeps? I'm sorry to say, but we're going to unpack that. It shows more about the company he keeps. Probably maybe you have been with his friend, they might probably be telling a lot of homophobic things, chilling around, going to clubs, being with women, tapping people's ass, having fun, and people are just chilling, and they might be vibing with them. He never even brought it one day. Like, you know what? I'm a part of this community, or this is the way I feel. Probably they never even thought of that. Probably when they were saying lame ass gay jokes, he was there laughing with them. They were saying lame ass things, he was laughing with them. He obviously looks like, maybe from the pictures, I don't like to judge, we don't judge, but he looks more thuggy, like more of the Tom thuggy, what's the word, thuggy black, what's the word, kind of.
He means like a thug, a gangster.
Yeah, it looks like a gangster, the way he did tattoos all over the head. And so I'm sure that for his friends to have done this to him, they felt like it was a picture of trust. We roll out with you, we chill with you, we make you enter into our space of space. We never had the mind to even tell us about this, only for us to find out on the internet that you were busting people's speakers.
There are so many questions to wax. First and foremost, how did they find out? Were they like, oh,
it's on OnlyFans, obviously. And the guy's trending now on Pornhub. It's all over the place. Maybe he didn't know he's that popular, but I know he's popular because I've seen his video before. Apart from this, what's the word, being beaten, I've come across his video once before, so I can tell you that for free. Now maybe he didn't know he was this popular, but if me my small spaces can see him, that is not a porn addict. I just once in a while go into groups or go into this thing and see what's
you're not a porn addict, you.
No, I can tell you, that's for a fact. I can tell you I'm not. If I was, I would tell people I was, but I'm not a porn addict. Even in Muslim groups, where me and you, we are part of the same
You
group.
and who? You and who? Stop me and you. Where you are part of?
You know the groups that we're part of, where they drop updates for us, some of the LGBTQI news updates, and also they drop ass updates and dick and sex updates for us in the group. So those are the groups I get the same. So if I can have seen it from that kind of group like that, so I'm sure maybe he didn't know he was that popular. So what do you think it is? Yeah.
For me, I just kind of feel like, first and foremost, as a porn star and as a star, you should be very careful of where you go to. Especially with the case of Zamani's disappearance. Zamani has been missing for months now, and we are unsure of what has happened to him. We've seen a lot of people. We've also had Area Mama come. Area Mama that is an Ashawo. So we've had porn stars come in on our show, and I've interviewed a lot. I've interviewed even America's biggest porn star, Tim Dredd, and we had this conversation, and we've seen how there are no laws to protect porn stars, and we've seen the scandal that goes on in the porn industry. For those porns you love, all those things you are seeing them, all those ta 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 ta, they will hang their leg, they will fling their leg. Those people take antidepressants. Those people take drugs. Those people take things to just allow their sorrows and their pains go away. They are badly treated. Porn stars are badly treated. Porn stars sometimes serve. There was a situation where a guy saw a porn star on the street and told the porn star, why is he even wearing clothes, that he wants to see him naked. So that is how degrading sometimes porn stars get to. They are paid, they are humiliated, they are used as toys. So it's not surprising to me for him to be beaten and to be, humiliated. This might not even be the way we presume it should be. It could be maybe he went for a job or he went for a set and he met somebody and he said, no, I can't do a section with this person. And they say, oh, you can't do a section with this person, and started beating him up. There have been.
But I thought what he said there was that his homies found out about his OnlyFans.
I'm coming.
I'm trying to go through what was said in the video, because that's why I base my own thoughts from that. If these are your homies, even in you being beaten, can recognize that they are your homies, then it's just the kind of homies you are keeping. But go ahead, Chima. I just want to be sure. So, because I know some people might watch and I feel like, oh, I'm not defending you. I'm trying to support the bill. I'm not supporting the bill or supporting anybody. I'm just trying to.
I know you're sticking to the story and what he said verbally, but I'm also saying with numerous interviews and numerous people I've encountered and numerous talks, and I'm able to bring out different analysis and situations, because I don't understand why you'll be beaten up and you still call the people who beat you and abuse you your homies. What dealings do you, how did it happen? In short, there's a whole lot to unpack from this story. What were you doing with your homies? How did they discover? What did you do? What are you going to do? And we could see the video where he's in the hospital, and are you going to take legal action against these people? These people you call your homies, where do you know them from? And that is why I think association matters a lot. For me, I went to a secondary school that my secondary school itself is trauma. So I don't deal with anybody from there, apart from the good memories I have from secondary school. So I will never come out and say I'm going to a class, a former class, a hangouts or school reunion. You're not going to see me there, because you guys are all trauma to me. Because if I'm there, it cannot go on well. So you got to know who you are associating with as a star. That was my point. So he needs to understand he's a star. He needs to present himself as a star. There are so many people that invite me for parties and I say, I'm not going for this party because I know I'm going to meet somebody that I don't want to be in the same space and in the same room with. You yourself, you know that. So you need to plan yourself adequately. So in this story, I think a lot of things are not making sense to me. A lot of things in this story look like a made-up story, because remember this star from Empire that came and said, oh, these two Nigerians came, beat him up,
No, this one wasn't made up.
I've forgotten his name. I'm just giving situation.
Jesse Smollett.
Yeah, Jesse Smollett. And the whole thing, at the end of the whole day, we saw it was a stage. So we need to be careful that people don't just go, who knows if the blood on his head is
Jesse Smollett's own was at first, I didn't believe it was a fake when the thing was, but I think Jesse Smollett, what actually gave it off as a fake after the investigations actually proved it was a fake. But I think what gave it up was what he was trying to use that attack to achieve. Sometimes when you get an attack and they are what we're trying to,
obviously with the wounds on his head, with this video going trending, his OnlyFans, most people will know about his OnlyFans. He will be, in short, I'm telling you that his subscribers would have multiplied by now. So I
feel so. There's a lot to gain. Yeah, I think I agree with you too that there's a lot to gain from faking us toward this stuff, because people had that some things happen and people say people fake it a lot these days. Even Jaruma her madness. People are saying she faked it. A lot of people's ordeal was this days. People were, is that when something happened? People were like, is it a fake? Was it planned? But I can tell you that some things
Because you
are not
know
fake.
why I really doubt this story. First and foremost, where did they beat you? Then you calmly sit at a pavement with your phone and say, "Oh, my homies just beat me now. Is it because I'm a
He's
fraudster?"
used to being in front of the camera, so I can understand him.
First and foremost, I'm used to being in front of the camera, but when I'm being
No,
beaten
Chimenez,
up,
are you used to being in front of? Have you used to being in front of the camera naked, looking at the camera when sucking dick?
Can I? But the first thing when I'm being attacked is not to pull up my phone to film myself, to pull up
Like
my
I tell you
phone.
again,
No, I'm just saying reality. The first thing is to pull up my phone and call 911. 911, what's your emergency? I am
like I tell you
assaulted.
again.
I'm coming. Let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me finish. The
Yeah, now
first
you
thing is to
understand how
call
it is to interject
911
people.
to report your case, not to film yourself. The second thing again, you are in the hospital. You've not even told us if you've filed a police report. You've not even told us if your legal team is taking a legal step over it, towards it. When I had my own issue with a Cardioncy, when we did our documentary and Cardioncy started sending me death threat, I didn't come on. Nobody knows about it apart from this video. I called the police. The police went and picked him up, and we had a whole case hearing. So when your life is at risk, you will do the appropriate things. You will take the appropriate legal steps to protect yourself, because that's an assault. You've been beaten. In short, that wound on your head can even make you lose your brain and your senses. Who knows if he's even speaking the right thing now because he has a conjunction. Maybe he's speaking out of the conjunction on his head, concussion on his head. So there are so many things to this story that doesn't sit well with me. Over to you, Mr. Achafo.
Yeah, like I said, thank you so much, amazing. Just wrapping this up, like I said again, for me, I just feel like what's the word? It was the words he used. That's why I began to ask questions. And when you say your homies, because I see a lot of people these days, and they say it so proudly. Like, oh, I'm a gay person, but I'm sticking to straight friends. I only keep straight friends as my homies. I don't meet people. I don't like the gay energy. I don't do this. I don't do that.
Well, honestly, I don't like the gay energy. I don't want you coming up being all sissy. I like you.
The gay energy is not about being sissy most times. Sometimes the gay energy is just probably being friendly. It's just being nice. I don't bring the sissy energy, but I know most queer people have tried to, and to be honest, I don't mind if you're actually CC or whatever, or what's the bitchiest person in town. I just want, like, at least you have common sense, you are well behaved, not trying to be a bitch and trying to upset everybody. If you're a nice person, you can be a bitch and be nice. So you can be a bad bitch and actually have your brains intact and know what you're actually doing. And I know
Yes, that's true. That's true. I can be around you.
You know what you are doing.
You
have your goals. You have your shit all figured out together. And like they say, I always say sometimes the badness is not in speaking rudely or in speaking so on cloud. Sometimes the badness is how you carry yourself, how you was when you go, you speak of class, when you sit, you speak of. So sometimes I don't mind, but when people say that, oh, I don't want them in my life, this and that, and you go and make homophobic homies, then you get homophobic prizes. I'm sorry to say. If your homies find out what you do, probably they might even be cool with you being queer. But you being
honestly, I feel this is a stage. I feel this is a stage. Sorry, I feel this is a stage setup. This is just for publicity.
I don't believe that setup. I just believe that it was a person who wrote the homophobic homies and was to got homophobic prices. That's what I feel. But you might feel it's a setup. You might actually be right, but I might actually be right. Like what they always say is always what's the word? 3 sides to the story. What's the word? Your side, my side, and the truth or whatever it is. So there might be every side to a story, but there will always be the truth, which I don't think maybe that's what has been said, because I'm surprised why it doesn't.
Why the truth? Why I feel like this is still a setup is because he's the only one speaking, he's the only one recording, he's the only one telling us what happened. Where is the other? During crises like this, we see people film stuff, we see people come around, we see events happening.
I don't think there's coming around for this stuff. And to be honest, besides what I see to him, I don't see him pressing charges because he still called them his homies. So I don't think there's going to be any press of charges. So if it was a stage stunt, congratulations to him, because now it will be in the news. Although the only thing is that where he had that injury does not look like somewhere that anybody would sacrifice for anything staged. To be honest, unless you have a mental illness or there's something wrong with you, especially for a porn content creator, where he had that injury on his head will be the last place, because that place I had it is the most visible place for anybody to see the scam. So probably
If
there
you
was something
want
on
to,
his
if you
arm.
want to stage something, will you stage it in your room? One name.
No. I'm saying that where he had the scar
That's what I'm
was the
saying.
worst place,
You
was the
make
most.
it as real as possible. That is why I
No, that
say.
place is just ridiculous. It could have been real even on the arm. We could have had this debate with maybe scars on his arm or with bruise on his wrist. We could have had this discussion, but with that one on the head, that's why I said you either have to be maybe the most delusional person or the most. You actually need help if you could stage something, and that's the place of all places to get an injury for the world. To the point of you getting an ink and you getting stitches, and I'm sure it's not going to remain the same again, because that place was actually torn open. The flesh was quite a brutal scar. So you have to be very, very, you have to need a lot of mental help.
Anyways, our condolences to him. Not condolences,
Yes.
but our sympathy to him. Being stage or real, I think he has
Yeah.
gone through a very traumatizing thing and nobody should go through. Even though that we have little skepticism because of in past, we
Yeah.
see people say they've gone through trauma, especially like the one I watched the other day, this girl from North Korea that always came out and said she was, traumatized in North Korea, only to find out that all the things she was saying was not the way she made it seem, that she was living a very comfortable life in North Korea. Become an influencer, she's getting money from all her talk. So it's a little bit skeptical for us now to believe anybody who comes out to say trauma. I will understand what trauma does to a person. But at the same time, I just want to say, I feel nobody should go through what he's gone through, and we wish him speedy recovery.
And that's been our offering for Breaking News Wildlife for this episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and keep in touch as we drop more hot and sizzling episodes for you. That's been all for now. God bless the Rainbow community. See you all next time.